All right, so let's talk about the snare modes. So snare mode 1 and 2, we can toggle between them right here. To explain snare modes, the normal mapping for RS libraries is that we put snare center and snare rim shot on 2 separate notes. That is 100% a preference thing. I like to see snare center and rim shot on 2 separate notes because I identify them as 2 different individual types of hits. For me, it visually makes sense to see the MIDI as 2 separate things when I'm programming drums. However, there are definitely people that like programming snare center and rim shot on the same note, and there are libraries out there that actually put both of those hits on one note. So snare mode 1 is going to keep the snare center separate from the rim shot. You're going to have them on 2 separate notes. When you turn on snare mode 2, it's going to take the loudest rim shot hit and it's going to put it at the top of the velocity range for snare center. So this is now going to allow you to program all of your snare center hits and rim shot hits on one MIDI note. And this is also helpful, for example, if you're transferring MIDI from a library that does have center and rim shot on the same note, instead of trying to go through and say, oh, this is a rim shot, I have to move it to the RS mapping, you can just come in here and select snare mode 2 and you're good to go.